At the current times, people tend to resort to convenience and ease to live their lives, not knowing that these actions have greatly affected the whole ecosystem. With various negative anthropogenic effects lying around, natural processes and the current state of the ecosystem may be harmed. What are these dynamics and how is it affected by the numerous human activities that is done? What is the current state of our ecosystem? Are we really considered as invasive?
Invasive species. Are we invasive? An invasive species can be any kind of organism. It could be something that lives on land or water. It could be an animal or plant or even a microbe. An invasive species is a non-native species that cause harm or damage to the ecosystem, health, and economy. But not all non-native species are invasive, like the honeybees in North America. An example of an invasive species is the cane toad, which was introduced in Australia for pest control. But due to its defense mechanism, which produce toxic ooze, native animals that ate the cane toad died, and with no natural predator, its population exploded, taking a toll on native animals and plants. Although we humans are classified as invasive, our action cause harm to the environment. Pollution, global warming, depletion of natural resources, extinction, and even change the Earth's natural process.
Let's talk about the sedimentary cycle. A sediment is a solid material that is transported and deposited in a new location. It consists of rocks, minerals, and remains of plants and animals. The sedimentary cycle consists of 5 processes: weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition, and lithification. Weathering transforms solid rocks into smaller fragments called sediments. Next is erosion. Materials are worn away and transported by natural forces such as wind and water. It differs from weathering because it involves movement. After erosion is transportation, then deposition when the sediment stays in place. Lastly, lithification occurs, which turns the loose sediments into rocks. The sedimentary cycle is important because it transports essential minerals like phosphorus.
That's right. Phosphorus is an essential nutrient for plants and animals, but a limiting nutrient for aquatic animals. It is also found in our DNA. It is used for fertilizers, animal feeds, and other agricultural products. Phosphorus is transported along with other sediments in sedimentary cycle. Then it gets absorbed by plants and animals. So phosphorus returns to the soil or water by decomposition and excretion, then the cycle repeats itself. Humans interfere with the phosphorus cycle by mining excessive amounts of phosphate rocks. It was found that human-driven phosphorus flow is greater than the natural flow of phosphorus.
Aside from mining, the phosphorus cycle is altered by our excessive use of phosphorus in fertilizers and animal feeds. Phosphorus gets stagnantly deposited in places where it shouldn't be. For example, human consumption of phosphorus through eating livestock is increasing over the years. We excrete the excess phosphorus through feces, which goes into the sewers. This breaks the phosphorus cycle because we are unable to effectively recycle wastewater. Now that we know how the P cycle is altered, let's explore its effects in the environment.
The first effect is phosphorus scarcity. We use phosphorus for our fertilizers, so if we run out of phosphorus, our global agricultural production will go down and we wouldn't have enough food for everyone. Next, it affects other biogeochemical cycles. high concentrations of phosphorus were found to influence the carbon and nitrogen cycles. The ratio of carbon and nitrogen compared to phosphorus is declining, and this affects soil microorganisms. This in turn affects the growth of plants. Another effect is that it also affects other organisms' epigenetics.
Humans' activities can also alter the genetic activity of different species, which would affect their health. This alteration is called epigenetics. Epigenetics involves the study of changes in one's gene expression, with no alteration made in the original DNA sequence. Different lifestyle and environment could influence one's epigenetic mechanism, such as nutrition, behavior, stress, physical activity, working habits, smoking, and alcohol consumption. An example of this is when you live in a contaminated land due to illegal dumping of wastes, industrial activities, and many more.
So we have here different dynamics that are currently affected by negative anthropogenic actions. With all things considered, one thing can be known for sure, and that is we humans are not invasive. Humans can only be considered as the major contributor on why the aforementioned dynamics are being heightened in relation to damaging the ecosystem. We may be involved in altering these instances, but looking at it deeper, the animals and plants are the ones who are fully invading an area and further damaging it. Though having this in mind does not mean that we shall continue on purposely damaging and producing conflicts, but rather having a knowledgeable mind to be cautious of our actions that can affect the ecosystem.